Hey everyone, I have been wanting to do this video for a long time. I've been playing around with Flower Beauty products for a few years now, but the line has expanded and they are now being carried at Ulta and still at Walmart. I thought they would be phased out, but so far so good. So I want to go over my collection, what I recommend, what I think you can skip, and just my overall impressions of the brand. So starting with face. Everything that I'm wearing, by the way, is drugstore. Almost everything is Flower Beauty. Everything will be listed in the description box in the order in which I am talking about them. So, first things first, this is brand new. It was just released in February. It is their Light Illusion Luminous Makeup Nude Skin Feel. I am wearing it in the shade Ivory L2. At first I thought it was a little dark for me, but actually once it's blended out, it is perfect. I was really impressed with this. I went into this assuming I was not gonna like this. I don't know why. There's not a lot of information out there. I would say their website doesn't have a lot of info on this, but there are 12 colors, and I would say the coverage is definitely medium to full. It is luminous. Yes, I'm wearing highlighter, but you can see there's no highlighter up here. It's very reflective. I applied it with a brush and a damp beauty blender, and surprisingly, I prefer applying it with the damp sponge. It wears beautifully. It feels wonderful on the skin. It has an SPF 18. I would say the finish is very similar actually to the Lancome Tint Miracle. I like the shade range a little better on the Lancome options, but obviously this is a much lower price point. I believe this is $13.99, so definitely would recommend this. Next is the coordinating concealer, the Light Illusion, I think it's called, yes, Full Coverage Concealer. So I have it on under my eyes today, over MAC Prep and Prime always, and on my blemishes as well. This definitely runs cool tone, at least again in the shade that I have, which is the lightest shade. I'll list it below what that actually is. It wears really well though, and it blends incredibly beautifully. This is the lightest shade, so it really didn't do much for brightening under my eyes. I wore it yesterday alone without the MAC Prep and Prime, and my personal preference is I like it just a smidge lighter in here, and it didn't give me that lightness that I was looking for. But today and all the other times I've been wearing it on top of the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in Radiant Rose, this works beautifully, easily blendable. Not quite as high coverage, say, as the Tarte Shape Tape or the Urban Decay All-Nighter, but a really lovely concealer, and it comes in 6 colors and it's $9.99. So obviously, again, a much better price point for as compared to Tarte or Urban Decay. Then on to this. I was really excited for this. It is the Flower Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder, and I picked this up because I was hoping it would be a dupe for that Lancome powder that Jaclyn Hill has been raving about, the Rose Absolute, which I got a tiny little sample size. It is sold out everywhere. Okay, this I would say pass. There are so many wonderful loose setting powders out there, both high-end and drugstore. This you don't need to bother with. And I will say the packaging, I mean, really, the packaging is horrible. So you take this top off, and then the product is in here. How do you get the product out? You have to dump it upside down in the lid, which there you go. And then hopefully you've dispensed just enough to use on your face, and then you gotta get it back on. That's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously lots of loose powders, you have to kind of dump it into the lid, but this lid only matches, it's like a puzzle. This lid only matches up just so because of this one straight edge. And that, my friends, is a pain in the tushy. So see, it just doesn't, it's a pain. So I'd say based on just the packaging alone, I would give this a pass. It's huge and bulky and unwieldy. And the powder itself, it's okay. It definitely lends a lot of luminosity, but I don't really want that in a setting powder, and I don't feel like it's anything that special about it. So pass on that. Next, this has been a beauty favorite. I know this has been a best of makeup. I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2017 or both. And this is the Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. I picked this up a while back when it was at Walmart. This, I mean, if you've been watching for about a year or so, you know my love for this. These are 3 highlighting shades. You have a champagne, a pink, and a gold. These feel more creamy and more pigmented than the Becca shimmering skin perfectors, except these are made by Flower Beauty. They are powder. They are so pigmented. They are so, if this was packaged in something more high-end packaging, you would easily pay $60 for this and not even bat an eye. Two more favorites that I will definitely recommend and should not be new to you are the Flower Pot blushes. I have it in the shade Sweet Pea, which is what I have on right now, and Warm Hibiscus. They're just, again, it's that, what I've come to expect from most of the Flower Beauty products that are powder is this really soft, almost feels creamy texture. They're really just pretty. I love the shallow pan. It's easy to put in a drawer and it's easy to get your brush in. The Sweet Pea is more of a matte satin finish, what I have on today. And then the Hibiscus is more of a, say, a corally peach with some shimmer in it, kind of in the Orgasm family. I should have mentioned that I'm wearing this today, and I'm pretty sure I went with a combo of these two, or maybe it was these two. I don't know, it wasn't this one. I'm pretty sure it was these two that I'm wearing, but I love them. Let's move on to eyes. So the very first thing I ever bought from the line was this little quad. It is the, it's just called an eyeshadow quad, and it is in the shade Foxy Browns. Now, I don't reach for this as much as I thought I would, only because of the colors. It ran more cool toned, but it's been a while, so I did just swatch it. It's all over my hand. And it does balance out with a coppery warm tone right here. So I'm gonna give this another play, but again, so creamy, so soft, easily blendable, great pigmentation. The packaging is really cute with this, you know, rose gold edging and the quilted kind of bubbly top. Definitely pleased with these. I'm not sure if these are going to continue to be carried. So far, I only found them at Walmart. Now on to one oldie and goodie and one new. These are the eyeshadow palettes, and the Shimmer and Shade eyeshadow palette, I should say. This one in Golden Natural is one of my all-time, hands down, all over favorite eyeshadow palettes. I'm wearing it today. The only thing that makes this not the best palette ever is there's not a matte or satin ivory brow bone shade. I have to pull from my Wet n Wild collection for that. If it had that, this might be the only palette I would ever need to use. I love the warm tones, but like not orange red, just like straight up brown warm tones. There's a really nice mix of matte and shimmer shades. The brush that comes with it is actually usable. They are so soft, they're so pigmented, they are so blendable, they are so creamy, they're so wearable. I love them. I picked up another one. Of course, I put the brush away somewhere in my collection. This one is the Warm Natural. What I really like about this is that the purples in here, for me, are much more wearable than purples I've seen in other large palettes. They also make a cool tone version. I'm not a cool tone fan, so I didn't purchase it for myself, but these are unbelievable. Just well worth the money. Here's where I had a dud. I was really disappointed. When I saw this released on the Ulta website, I was really hoping that this would be a really reasonably priced dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look palettes. No. These are, I mean, they look exactly like it, the concept. You know, you have your 3 shadows, you have 2 blushes, you have a highlighter, and you have a bronzer. Well, first of all, the formulation of these powders is nothing like the powders I just showed you. They're dry, they're not, they're meh, they're just nothing. The color options are okay, but what really threw me is the bronzer is literally orange. It is an orange, shimmery, if not glittery bronzer. What were they thinking? This had such great potential. Terrible. Do not waste your, there's so many wonderful options. Don't waste your money on this. And then another one that I was just like, meh, was the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior. I have nothing, like it's just, it's there. It didn't make my lashes look particularly longer or fuller. It just made them black. So if you want a very natural, just kind of plain, nothing you get excited about, then I guess you can buy this, but there are so many other options. It's a plastic bristle. It's a little bit curved. I feel like the little bristles aren't close enough to really get in there. It was just not a spectacular showing. Finally, let's end with lips. Now, this has all been sent to me, oh gosh, a few months ago from Flower Beauty, and I've mentioned some of these. I did buy one thing. So let's start with what I bought. This is the Hydra Silk Ultimate Lip Butter. When I saw this on the website, I can't talk today, and saw lip butter, who thought immediately? I did, of the Revlon lip butters. So wonderful. Why are they gone? I mean, why would you get rid of something that works so well? Anyway, so I was really hoping that this would be a very similar concept. I can't read what shade this is, so I will list it in the description box. It is nothing to get excited about. It is basically a tinted balm. It doesn't, I mean, I really had to scrape to get this on here. It's okay. It's okay. It's nothing like the lip butters of old from Revlon. It's not scented if that's something you're looking for. It didn't last. It didn't last at all on my lips. It has no wear time. I would pass this up. So, Then the lip liners. They sent me 8 of them. I can only find 7. They are very creamy. They are very sharp. They're very easy to work with. I am wearing, I started with beige, which is a true nude lip liner, and then kind of darkened up the corners with toffee. I can't remember which one I'm actually missing. The only, I wouldn't even say it's a negative. The only feedback I would give, and this is gonna come up again, is the shade range. I feel like there should be more options. It's nice that they included a bright coral and a bright red and this like fuchsia shade. That's all wonderful. And like this deep burgundy is really nice. You don't always see that in a drugstore lip liner, but there's really not a lot of like, there's really no rosy pink kind of everyday natural option. So I would have liked to see a softer nudie pink added into that collection. Then let's talk about these. These are the Miracle Matte Lips. They're basically liquid lipstick. Let me check my notes. There are 12 colors. They are $9.99. It's again, first of all, I'm over the liquid lip thing. I'm just not into, I just go ahead and reapply my lipstick. I'm not that lazy that I can't slap on some more lipstick. I hate the dryness. I don't care how well they're formulated. No, I'm over it. I can't. It's just no. Okay. So the problem again is the shade range is bizarre. So you start with like the lightest of the light, which is like dead mannequin lips. And then this one's actually pretty wearable, but then you jump to, you know, really bright, really, even the ones that look like they'd be kind of softer, they dry down much brighter. All of them are very, very bright. I'm not a really everyday, very, very bright kind of person. So if you're into liquid lipsticks, these are nice and I would recommend them, but I just wish there were a few more nude, or not nude, but natural, soft, rosy pinks. That's just a personal preference. Now let's talk about a firm favorite in this category, and these are the double-ended mix and matte lip duos. And you've heard me talk about these before. You've seen me wear them in many, many videos, mention them in favorites. That's because they are amazing. Today I am wearing Melon Kiss. I feel like the only negative thing I can say about these is the name is a misnomer. There's nothing matte about these. So what you have is on one side, you have a basic bullet of lipstick, and they're very creamy and I would say solidly satin, maybe a demi matte at best. They're not drying. They don't, you know, they don't last an excessively long amount of time, but the wear time is really good for what they are. But then on the other end, you have a coordinating lip gloss, which I have both of them on. So there's the lip gloss and then there's the lipstick. You can wear just the lipstick, you can wear just the lip gloss, you can layer them, you can play with them. I love, look at this one. I haven't even worn this in video yet. This is the red one. It's stunning. I love these. I mean, a true blue red, beautiful shade, and then the matching lip gloss right next to it. I mean, talk about, if you want to wear a red lip and you want it to last, layering a matching lip gloss that's not ridiculously shiny over it with the lip liner, I mean, you've got a really long, it's great, fabulous, fabulous. I love it. You saw me wear this really bright pink one or bright violet one in my, I think it was my drugstore favorites. Great. I love every single one of them, every single shade. Again, though, while my favorite is the Tickled Pink shade, it's more of a cool toned, muted kind of rose. And I really would like to see this shade range expanded. There's only 6 shades, and I would love to see them come out with, I don't know, 20? I can be greedy. I want 20. And then lastly, let's talk about just their basic lipsticks. These are the Petal Pout lip colors. There's a lot of really bright, fun colors. I don't love the packaging. I love them at first glance. They're pretty, but you have to, it's a rounded tube with one side flat and a fuzzy. No, they don't come with the fuzzies. And so you have to make sure when you close it that you line up the flat sides. Otherwise it won't close correctly. So that's kind of just a pet peeve, kind of annoying. I'd rather they not be so cute and just make it round. I really like the clear top. I really like that you can see the color. As far as the lipstick goes, no scent. So if you're not a fan of scent, you're gonna like that part. They're fine. Like, they're a little drier than other drugstore lipsticks I've used. They're a little more waxy feeling. Not that they are waxy, but a little more waxy. So I feel like for this price point, there are better options. The Milani lipsticks come to mind. The Maybelline lipsticks are another one. So to sum up, if I had to pick my top picks, if you buy anything from Flower Beauty, this is what you should pick up. For sure, the highlight palette, absolutely the eyeshadow palettes, and these mix and matte duos are outstanding. I do also really like the foundation. It's a really pretty foundation. There's lots of great options. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if there's anything I haven't tried that you really love or not so much love. Leave that in the comments below. Let's keep the discussion going. And I'm really excited that they have moved over to Ulta. I think it's a good home for it. I'm excited to see what more they bring out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.